Hey guys, welcome back. So the debate is finally over. Is it too early for Christmas movies? It absolutely is not. We are going to be talking Christmas movies on Netflix and a little bit of He-Man, all coming up right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be
Yes, we ready.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's Christmas time, or it's December, so it's gonna be Christmas time very, very, very soon. Welcome back. You guys are watching Netflix Picks. I'm Rick Hong, and on the other side of the table,
I'm Steve Kaufmann. I am ready for Christmas.
Yes, and I'm Amy Cassandra Martinez. If you guys are not watching us, you just missed some fantastic lip syncing.
On your
side?
I was so into it.
She was there.
Yeah.
Hey, Ashley Chaney, what do you think? Like, you love Oh, wait, whatever.
Wow.
She is off having a ball. Down under. No, that was bad.
We're really cold over here under that shade.
Anyways. Okay,
I
so
am cold.
we are talking Netflix originals, film and TV, but primarily film because we're talking Christmas movies, something that dropped over the Thanksgiving holiday, and we hope that you guys had a great Thanksgiving holiday, is the Christmas Chronicles. We have all watched it. Amy and I loved it. Steve Kaufmann has something else to say about it, though.
So, I want a movie where Kurt Russell is Santa. I think everything else in this movie were just obstacles in the way of the movie I wanted, which was Kurt Russell as Santa. There were way too many poor, not acting kids, plot holes you could drive a truck through. I don't know. I didn't
Get out of here.
There
But
were,
continue.
okay, we're talking the Christmas Chronicles. Movie stars Kurt Russell, Darby Camp, who is in Big Little Lies, and she is also in Netflix's Benji.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked to Gabriel Bateman, her co-star here, like a few months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also directed by Clay Cadis, who did the Angry Birds movie. And Steve, it's an hour and 44, but
I didn't like it. I just
at all.
No. Let me rephrase. It's one thing to just not like it. I don't think I would be this high on my horse if I was like, I didn't like it. It had all of the elements to be very, very, very good. It had a fresh take on Santa Claus, a fresh take on Christmas. But
Elves.
one thing on elves, the one thing that really bugged me from the start was the idea of Christmas spirit was pretty well explained in this movie. However, they made it very clear that this is a world where Santa literally gives you gifts. You watch Santa give gifts, you watch people open gifts and say that they're from Santa. Yet you watch police officers accost Santa when he says he's Santa. There was a logical fallacy.
But the whole point is because Santa's this might be a spoiler alert for some of you, but Santa isn't necessarily real. But in this universe, world,
he is real in a certain sense.
Yes, he is, absolutely.
But in this universe, as it's presented to us, he is 100% real. He is 100% real with presents and a list and Cole.
But if you had people believe it right off the bat, then there wouldn't be a good storyline there.
But then find a way.
No, but there's always people that do believe and people that don't. So the ones that do believe and are good kids get presents, and it's like, duh, obviously Santa's gonna give me presents. But there are people that are like, yeah, Santa who? Well, okay, that's cute.
So you're saying that you're saying that those cops are bad people that never received presents because they were bad people?
They don't think that Santa's giving them toys, because Santa's not giving them toys. Santa's giving them whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But think of the kind of people that write letters to Santa, or in this case, send videos into Santa. That's so high tech. I love it.
But there's letters too in this one.
Yes, exactly.
Correspondence.
So it's like
to Santa.
the cops aren't really doing that.
No, I'm just saying I didn't. But it was more than just the cops. It was the idea of Christmas spirit, and it's this and that. Where it was a logical fallacy I couldn't get behind, and that wasn't even the top 10 reasons I didn't like this movie. I thought the child actors were not.
Get out of here.
We're not living up
She's
to.
amazing.
Okay. Then
Okay.
I thought there was a lot of. I didn't enjoy this film. I enjoyed Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, and that was about it. I enjoyed Stevie Van Zandt in the jailhouse.
Yeah. That was fun.
on the guitar.
Amy and I love this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
it was
y'all.
clever. It was original. I mean, there are some pieces, but it's also a Christmas movie to where even I was like, in the beginning, I was like, but the movie got so good and so clever. Like, I haven't seen something this fresh in a long time for a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
I even sat there and debated to myself and wondered, could have this movie been released theatrically versus Netflix? It was that good. Whereas also Netflix, also a lot of their original film don't move me too much. So, but I mean, like this one was a good one. I mean, if this came out of the theaters, I don't know if I would have like rushed out to go see it. But based on what I saw story-wise, it was good enough to be released theatrically.
Yeah, and I think it's the whole thing of like, you know, when you're a kid, you believe in Santa and everything, like all the wonderful things about Christmas, and then when you're older, sometimes it fades, and I think that was perfectly shown in the plot, and I don't know, I loved it, and I think that it was just fun, you know, it was good, it was just like, yeah, let's have fun with a Christmas movie that isn't too cheesy.
I liked the fresh take on Santa Claus. I'll end at that.
Okay. Well, it's 2-1, and
Did not enjoy this
2-1,
movie.
and I think actually Chaney actually didn't like it, but maybe like in the new year we'll get her take on it. But
Yeah.
actually, forget her.
Down
Okay, Amy. So you and I both watched The Princess Switch,
Yes, we
starring
did.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Yep. Yep.
And I want to say this is based on like the story The Prince and the Pauper.
Okay.
A little bit, like it's
Yeah.
kind of like, but you give it, you give me your thoughts, because like for me, I was like, I guess I wasn't really like 100% in, paying attention to it, but because like I kind of knew what was going to happen. Very predictable.
What? You knew it was gonna yeah.
Very predictable. It's a
Yeah.
very predictable movie, but
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Vanessa Hudgens is obviously playing two characters. One is this baker from this one little town, and then she ends up going to this competition, this baking competition in Belgravia. What the heck? Like, okay. And yeah, she ends up like switching places with this lady that she meets. She's like this fancy woman that's gonna end up marrying the prince or whatever. And they are both obviously Vanessa Hudgens. They switch places because, the fancy royal lady doesn't know what it's like to be a normal person. They switch places, whatever. They fall in love with the guys. That's what happens. It's cute, kind of. It's a little too cheesy. It is very Christmassy, and I do like the 5% of baking that does happen in this film.
and the way to tell the difference, the way that they do the difference is, other than like the royalty and the normal person, is Vanessa Hudgens does a British accent,
sorry.
which I was like, I was like, it didn't work for me.
I'm having to relive.
Her British accent, her English accent was about,
Yes.
it didn't work for me.
It did not. It did not. But I'm hearing a lot of people really love this movie, and I think we all have our certain level of cheesiness that we love. This was not my kind of cheese, but that's okay. I would recommend you watch it if you like weird accents and really cheesy.
I mean,
cheesy
if you want something very, very predictable, something very, very easy,
Very predictable.
just to have on, then
Cheesy.
you definitely can watch this. But Amy, you watched I did not see this one, Christmas Wedding Planner. Thoughts?
Okay, so you have Christmas Chronicles way up here. Then you have The Princess Switch, and then you have Christmas Wedding Planner down there. This was a 2017 movie that somehow I just didn't see, and it was an hour and 26 minutes, and it stars Jocelyn Hutton, and this was the reason why I saw it, Kelly Rutherford, who was in Gossip Girl.
And she's also in the OC.
No, what?
Kelly Rutherford. No, she was in.
She kind of reminds me of the mom in the OC too. Also,
No, Kelly Rutherford was in. Sorry, I know exactly who you're talking about.
she plays Serena's mom in Gossip Girl.
It's because she was in this. It was a Fox show back in the day with Buffy and like the
Buffy?
Angel, that era.
Yeah.
And so she was in a vampire series. That's why I like Kelly
Vampire
Rutherford so much. But
Diary?
keep
I
going.
don't
No.
No. Yeah, so it's basically about this wedding planner, and she is planning a wedding on for Christmas, and it's like her first one, and her cousin's getting married. That's the cousin right there that you see. And it's really cheesy, and they had me up until about the middle. And then it was just like, nope, this does not make sense. I worked in the wedding industry for several years, and I was like, yeah, okay, all right. I'll let you get away with some stuff. But the ending, I almost want to tell you guys so that you're as upset as I am, but I almost don't want to. it just does not make any sense at all, and it just ruined the movie. But it's also like, dang it, I got so invested, and you're making me so angry with the ending that maybe you did a good job. But I'm angry, and I'm angry.
So 2/3 was okay,
Two-thirds?
and then they lost you at the end.
Yeah,
that
I
happens.
mean-
That happens in movies where you watch the the
doesn't
beginning,
make
the middle seem fine, and then the end completely falls apart, and you're like, I hate this movie.
When you try to rush something at the end, I've noticed that that's something that really irks me. And the whole like wedding planning process, like, yeah, sure, that's cute, that's nice, and she's going through stuff, and it's like cheesy, it's like dorky, it's like your TV kind of movie, right? But just the last 15-20 minutes, I'm like, what the heck were you thinking? It's like someone was like, how do we end this? Let's do this. Okay, yeah, makes sense. No, it doesn't.
Okay, we got one more that, because Amy is dedicated, even though it's only December 2nd.
She's building up.
I told you guys, though.
A Christmas Prince royal wedding.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, a lot of you guys know about A Christmas Prince. That was a huge deal last year. I can't believe it's already been a year.
Oh, this is a sequel.
This is a sequel, yes.
Oh,
So it stars Rose
wow.
McIver, same, right there, and Ben Lamb, directed by Like Mike's John Schultz. So he did Like Mike, which I don't know what that tells you about this movie, but they're using most of the same cast. It's not as cool, I'd have to say, because I don't know, some parts they try too hard, and
Should they have stopped at the first one?
Nah, guys, you need to see it only because I'm sure, like, people are talking about it. I know people were live tweeting watching it, and that's part of the fun of when you're watching a movie like this, like a TV cheesy movie. But I do say, I mean, the first one's way better, just because it's
like a Princess Diaries and Princess Diaries too.
similarly
What's the
different
premise?
level.
What's the premise of this one versus the first Christmas Prince?
That's a good question, because
Oh,
it's
wow.
slightly confusing. Like she's trying to find her way, like her place in this whole, in her marriage, that they haven't even gotten married yet. They're gonna get married on Christmas, and she's trying to figure out, like, okay, well, how much of a role do I have in, like, everyone in this made up city, town, country? I forgot, because now
which they
there's
usually always do in these type of
it's
movies.
all, it's a lot. So, and there's some cute things that she does, like, for, helping the people out because they lose their jobs, stuff happens. And then the little sister has, like, this play, and, like, she helps her out with that. And it's just a lot of, like, little tiny things that happen. I think they could have really told the main story easier without it being, like, so in your face. That was like, what? Like, it needs some help.
So
Let's just say that.
watchable, but not as good as the first one.
For sure, but you should watch it if you've seen the first one. If you haven't seen the first one, watch the first one, then watch this one. It's just part of it, guys. We're here. It's December. It's time.
Okay, Steve, tell me about Cam. C-A-M.
Cam, this was a very wonderful horror film from Blumhouse, the folks who give you all the cool stuff, like anywhere from The Purge to Get Out. It is about a
Split.
Yes, another one. It is written by a former cam girl herself, Isa Mazzei, and directed by a friend of hers since high school, Daniel Goldhaber, who, among other things, he did actually direct porn.
Cool.
In my vast research. So this movie is about a cam girl. We're TV PG, so if you don't know what that is, you got to kind of Google it yourself. But it's about a cam girl who's trying her best to make it to the top of a cam site. And she makes it to about 50 until one day she's locked out of her account and she realizes someone is posing as her.
Wait, 50 what? Like 50 videos?
Top 50 of the whole site. She was trying to make it to number one.
Whoa.
And it's based on contributions. People tip money based on your performance. Your performance in this room. It's a really well done horror movie.
I have seen the thumbnail pop up. I have been
Yes.
wanting to watch this, but we've had so much stuff to cover that I haven't gotten to this one. But now I'm going to.
I recommend it for its inventive storytelling, and it's ultimately very good, and like its nature on how we view people who do this. And they're dealing with a duplicitous nature between her and the kind of version she's created of herself online, which is very relatable to everyday life. The problem is the movie is also making it very clear that there is some type of doppelganger inside the computer that she has to fight. And I don't know if it really lived up to that kind of umph in the third act. It was made with $1 million.
Done. So
Yeah, it's in. It was great. Christmas movie, guys.
Got it. Well, I have a theme. It's going to go across all our genres tonight. And if you guys, I'm going to step up just a little bit just so you guys can see. I've got my He-Man, She-Ra sweatshirt. Sorry if the sound kind of went out there right now. But so I watched the updated version that Netflix released. 30-minute animation cartoon. Actually, I would say more cartoon than animation because, like, well, I would say animation, but not anime, is She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which is a remake from the original She-Ra, the Princess of Power, which spun off of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So I watched a couple episodes of this. The rating is Y7. So it's for like 7-year-olds.
Perfect.
And
You
this
barely make it.
version of She-Ra, I'm not as enthralled with, and I don't know if it's because I have a nostalgia from the past She-Ra, which I also visited, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's for kids. This one's really for kids. Not if you're an adult wanting to be nostalgic about She-Ra. That's what I learned from this version of it. So, Steve, what can people do?
They can talk to us in the chat like Anna Claudia is. She loves us, and Merry Christmas. Star Drew is also upset that Ashley is not here.
Yeah.
And Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard says Happy Christmas. Oh wait, that's the channel I run. What else can we do?
Well, you guys, hey, AfterBuzzers. Our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans like you. But we do need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're totally optional. So all you need to do is hit that subscribe button right there for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments down below, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
And regular releases, movies and television that aren't Netflix originals. So I'm staying on theme, and I found this as I was watching She-Ra and the Princess of Power, and I was watching She-Ra and the Princess of Power, Power of Grayskull, which gives a whole history about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, how the toy was created, how the cartoon was created, how She-Ra was created, how the movies were created, and then when they died off, how they brought back an updated version of He-Man to the world. And I enjoyed watching it.
Cool. That cover, or like that, whatever, is terrifying.
Well, that's from the movie. That's Skeletor from the movie, the live-action movie version. And like, they even interview Dolph Lundgren in this. They interview Frank Langella, who are in the original movie. So like, this one is worth watching. It's like I said, it's only because I was at She-Ra and the Princesses of Power how this thing popped up. So I was like, well. At first, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this, because I'd already seen the Toys That Made Us Season 1, Episode 1, which covered He-Man, but not necessarily She-Ra. This thing covered the whole, like, gamut, the real universe of the whole thing. So, like, I enjoyed it.
And it's the same talking heads as Season 1, Episode 1 of Toys That Made Us?
There's people, yeah, so there's still, like, certain, right, people that come up, because, like, people that, like, wrote it, people that were part of it. And that
was a story I didn't think I would find much enjoyment in, and I actually, just the way they were so gleefully making a thing that struck me as completely different from what it sounds like, which is, let's make a show so we can make a toy. Like, it sounds so capitalist, but coming from the people who actually did it, it was actually super joyful and wonderful.
So if you loved He-Man, you loved She-Ra, the originals, even if you like She-Ra and the Princesses of Power now for whatever reason, which is totally fine, then definitely watch Power of Grayskull. Amy, you watched The Lake House, which I've seen back in the day.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I've been sick for like a week. So I really just delved into Netflix and Hulu, and I watched The Lake House because it's one of those movies where I'm like, this makes me just feel happy inside. This does star Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
Great cast.
Oh my God, I know. I love them in Speed, and they have that chemistry that just like comes to this movie as well. This was from 2006, which is like 12 years ago, almost 13.
And a fun fact for you, it was actually based on a Korean series.
Stop it. What was it called?
The Lake House.
Oh. Oh.
But this is a remake. This is like an Americanized Western remake
Wow.
of that. So, but it was based on a Korean format. Yeah.
That's crazy. So this was an hour 39, which kind of shocked me. It felt a little bit longer, not in a bad way. Like I said, I have seen this before, but it's been a while. And it, you know, if you have never seen it, it really talks about like how it's possible for two people to communicate through a series of letters while still like not being in the same timeline.
In some sense, I know it's a little interesting how they kind of do this.
But still, like, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, what? This makes no sense. This time around, I was like, I get it. This could happen. Sure, I'm on it. Yeah, it's great. Christopher Plummer, hello. Yeah, he's fantastic from Sound of Music. And I think it really still continues to be amazing. And it's one of those movies that if you find yourself feeling like, I don't want to go outside, either it's too cold, like in LA, guys, we are dropping in the digits. It's in like the 50s now. So we're freezing our butts off.
I'm with you.
I'm so cold.
You have to understand that most people out there aren't going to give us any sympathy on 50.
I don't understand, guys. What? It's 50 degrees. We're freezing.
That's like not cold for the earth, though.
What?
That's only cold for LA and people who've lived in LA so long that their bodies adjusted.
Heck, or Texas. It's not that cold. Well, maybe
it's 20. It's 20 or below in places.
Yeah.
It's very cold in other places.
But hey, if you're freezing your butt off, watch The Lake House on Netflix now. It's great.
Okay, guys, well, we are here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or we try to be, minus a couple holidays here and there. But if you can't tune in to watch us, then you guys can always download us on iTunes. Please give us 5 stars because the other ones don't work. And then you can download it and listen to us like on your drive to hear like what the latest and greatest of what you should be watching on Netflix, whether you agree or disagree. Put it in the comments and we will give you a shout out. Like to Star Drew, who's watching. Bruce Pritchard. Oh, no, that's you, Steve. Who else is watching?
Anna Claudia is also watching. And
thank you for watching, Anna Claudia.
Also Bruce Pritchard. There are 9 people watching, but only 3 people speaking in the chat.
Right.
That's actually kind of high.
That's
for
totally
the internet.
fine. So, Hidden Gems or Revisits. I told you I am on theme with this one. So now I've talked about She-Ra. I've talked about the power of Grayskull. So therefore, I had to go back and watch the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the 30-minute cartoon from the 80s that started it all. Granted, the toy line was created first. Then they created the cartoon. And it's a little cheesy, but there's a lot of nostalgia for me, and I'm glad that it's on the platform there to watch. And so, if you guys, like are nostalgic, like I would say it still holds up. It doesn't matter what age you are to be able to watch it.
Cool. I've never seen an episode of any of this. She-Ra and He-Man.
You should start with He-Man, and then I'll tell you which order to go in.
Also,
thank you.
There's a pretty popular meme where you'll take He-Man and then add in a popular song. Right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a thing where you take the video of a He-Man episode and then you sync.
Next. Thank you. Next.
Google it. That's probably already happened.
All right, Steve, how about this? How about instead of the meme, how about you tell me about Get Me Roger Stone?
Get Me Roger Stone was a documentary I watched close to a year ago about a person who, to most of us, was relatively unknown named Roger Stone. He is a Republican strategist, longtime Republican strategist, all the way back past Nixon. And the title is based on a line that we believe actually existed during the 2001 presidential election where everything was going down in Florida. And one Republican strategist turned to another Republican strategist and said, "Get me Roger Stone." And Roger Stone, in real life, was down there in Florida in 2001, lobbying on behalf of George W. Bush. He was a very powerful person among all the Republican folks, and you would think that wouldn't be someone I'd be interested in hearing about or hearing about in a documentary, but I find it very fascinating, just the kind of person who can get into this much success, because he was involved in a lot of successful political campaigns. Also, it's worth noting, he is off Twitter, I believe, because he was speaking to WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. This is all post-documentary. And if he doesn't get indicted this week, he will get indicted next week.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes. I'm sorry. He was unofficially Trump's campaign strategist. Trump's campaign strategist for a stint of time because there were multiple Trump campaign strategists. But that's Roger Stone. The documentary is on Netflix. You can learn all about him and his Reagan tramp stamp.
Okay.
That's a real thing.
Well, we're going to talk some Netflix news, and there's some big things that are happening in Netflix news. The last couple of weeks, we've talked about how they canceled Iron Fist first, then they canceled Luke Cage, and here's the kicker: they've now canceled Daredevil. There will be no season 4. And season 3 was very awesome. It was really, 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 really good. I almost thought it was a bounce back from season 2, and I didn't think season 2 was bad at all.
No.
I would like to issue a public apology for all, because I take personal responsibility for both the Luke Cage and the Daredevil news as direct result of me being too gleeful about the Iron Fist cancellation. I take that responsibility, and I'm sorry. I'm going through empathy training to be better. I'm very upset about this. I think this move is pretty clear that either Netflix doesn't want to foot the bill for IP that Disney's going to use to then compete with them, or Disney doesn't want it on the platform.
Well, I'm not worried about it because they did say that Daredevil will continue in some way. So I'm like, let's see it. And I'm curious because season 3 was so freaking good. It was like mind-blowing good.
Keep in mind, we'll never see another version of the Defenders, though.
Yeah, which is okay. That's all right.
You mean the Disney platform, whatever it is, can't do a Defenders?
Well, it wouldn't be the same.
Well, not on Netflix. I'm talking about on Netflix.
Yeah.
There
Okay,
will
sorry,
never
yes.
be another version of the Defenders.
There's not a season 2 of the Defenders.
This is probably what's going to happen is now that Jessica Jones has shot doing season 3, they probably won't pick up Jessica Jones. They probably won't pick up the Punisher. The whole idea was just that at the time when they were creating these shows, Netflix was still trying to build their kind of like original content, and now that they've done that, they're kind of like, okay, now we can like kind of let some of the Marvel stuff go because it's so expensive to. Okay, that's like kind of like the clash that they're having between Marvel is like how many episodes to pick up, the creative vision, and Netflix has been wanting to chop those down from like 13 to 10. So
and it's also, I think we're at this is a phase 3 problem for Netflix, because phase 1 was get original, and I say air quote, original content onto your platform. And what you wind up doing is subcontracting Lionsgate or whoever will make something like Orange is the New Black or House of Cards, and then obviously you co-opt Marvel and Disney. And we're now to phase 3 where they want to own it outright, like Stranger Things. So this is a phase 3 problem, that you can't have content on your platform that is subcontracted content. Disney owns that content, Marvel owns that content, the IP is caught up in all those things, and that could now send people elsewhere. You don't want to do that anymore.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm still on theme because I watched She-Ra, He-Man, all that stuff was animated. And in more Netflix news, Roald Dahl, the author of Matilda, the BFG, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they're going to do an animated for those stories on Netflix. Yeah.
I'm fascinated to see an animated Charlie and the Chocolate Factory 2 where they go to space. He wrote a second book. He wrote a second book with Charlie and...
Wait, are you serious?
Charlie and Willy Wonka went in a space... It was like...
That probably can happen.
It was
if
page
there's a
4.
Season 2, that probably can happen.
It was page 4 that they go in a spaceship to the moon, and then that's where the whole movie took place. Guys,
all right, let's see it then.
that man is insane, and I love it.
And so, like, now let me do the reverse. Cowboy Bebop, which is a very popular Japanese anime, they're gonna do a live version of it on Netflix.
Interesting.
Do you think Netflix knew how much money, like how much they were going to make just in PR for announcing this? Because this was all over my feed. They're like, oh my God, they're making a live action Cowboy Bebop. It's amazing.
It's like in lore. I mean, it's like an anime lore, like one of these things that people have been wanting to see. It's like Robotech or Macross that people have been wanting to see a live action for like a long time, but you don't want to do it like Ghost in the Shell.
Well,
yeah.
I think whatever they're spending on this, they're making it back just in word of mouth this week. That we're talking about Netflix, we're talking about Cowboy Bebop, we're talking about everything.
So as that develops, we'll be talking about it. And top 3 releases coming up. Mowgli, The Legend of the Jungle, which is the sequel to the live version of Jungle Book. 5-Star Christmas, which I'm sure Amy may or may not watch.
Yeah.
And then Free Reign, The 12 Days of Christmas. So,
What? Stop. That sounds great.
Yeah. So like, there's more Christmas stuff to be watched, and so we'll be talking about those next week as we return.
Oh, yeah.
But
right.
until next time, on the other side of the table, Amy Cassandra Martinez, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ.
And I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively. That is at Steve Kaufmann, Kaufmann. I run a lot of YouTube pages for some wrestlers you may know. So I tweet their links. Support me by supporting them.
And guys, I'm Rick Hong. You can find me on all social media at Rick Hong, RICKHONG. Would love to hear in the comments if you loved He-Man, She-Ra, watch Power of Grayskull. I will chat with you about it. And until next time, Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will be here. We'll be talking about Mowgli for sure and some more Christmas stuff.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.